Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Journey with Vijay Kumar Shrivastav. Today I am going to present the topic stored grain pests. So let's move on. First we will go through overview of storage losses. Advancement of technologies in agriculture has led to increased food production every year. In many countries, major portion of food grains produced were storing for contingency and regular supply. These stored grains were infested by insects directly or indirectly and causing severe damage apart from other storage losses. Most of the storage part is mainly concentrating on grain storage, either in domestic or commercial scale. Several structures were used for grain storage ranging from a small metal bins to tall grain elevators. Such stored commodities for long time were prone to contamination and damage by biotic and abiotic factors. Among the biotic agents, insects, mites, rodents, birds, and microorganisms cause immense loss in storage. Major damage were mainly caused by insects, which account for an average of 10 to 20% of storage losses as per Phillips and Thorne 2010. In general, a stored product of agricultural and animal origin are attacked by more than 600 species of coleopterans, 70 species of lepidopterans, and about 355 species of mites. They are causing both quantitative and qualitative losses, as per Rajendran and Sriranjani reports 2008. Sources of infestation. The insect damaging the stored grains many times got access from the fields and established at the storage site due to microclimate and retained during the course of processing and storage, as per reports from Hangstrom and Phillips 2017. Reports have shown that some insect pests initiate damage during ripening stage of crop in field and carry over to the storage site. However, major sources of infestations are old bags, storage structures, old containers, and crossover infestation as per report of Perez Mendoza et al. 2004, and harvesters and other machineries are also playing role in infestation spread as per Sinclair and White 1980. The initial infestations can be minimized during the post-harvest handling to the storage structures by proper harvesting and drying of grains. However, between the lots, the movement of stored product insects are facilitated by grains supply from one region to another either through the commodity. Sometimes they also spread by active flight of insect pests, as many of them are strong flyers, as per report from Mahroof et al. 2010, supported by Ridley et al. 2011. Nearly 100 species of insect pest of stored products lead to economic losses. It is estimated that in India, crop losses due to pests ranges from 10 to 30% a year, out of which about 26% is due to the insect pests only. The quantity during storage which is wasted is enough to feed at least 50 million people. The loss is not merely in terms of quantity but also in terms of quality of food grains. Many insect species are associated with stored grains and their products, but only about 50 are severe, either occasionally or frequently. The relative abundance of particular species may vary from country to country. Majority of them are distributed throughout the world and were reported to cause similar type of damage everywhere, although damage severity varies country to country. In many cases, complexes of the insect species are present in the commodity lots as their feeding nature is different and can sustain simultaneously. The particular insect pest present also depend on the type of the stored grain and region of warehouse. Here to study the extent of losses caused by various insect pests. Rice weevil is causing damage of around 11% in commodities of wheat and maize under stored grain conditions. Pulse beetle is one of the important pests which is causing major damage to pulse crops, and damage is ranging from 32 to 69% under storage conditions. Laser grain borer is also causing 10 to 11% storage losses in crops of wheat and maize commodities under store. Grain moth is contributing around 10 to 17% losses during storage in major commodity of wheat, rice and oats. Rice moth is also having reported to damage 9 to 15% under crops, rice and rice products. Now we will go through a storage insect pests. First one is rice weevil. These are prolific breeders and build up huge populations. Under heavy infestations due to heat and moisture generation, it may cause colonization by molds and mites. Infestation starts from field when moisture in grain is around 20%. These insect pests are distributed worldwide and found throughout India, and these are one of the destructive pests. These pests are attacking on rice, wheat, oat, sorghum, barley and maize, and as a damage, both larva and adult stages are causing damage. Larval lives and feed inside the grain, and insects destroy the seed and leaves cavities and emerges holes. As a detection method, there will be irregular holes in the germ and endosperm of the kernel. Adults are having movement over the surface of grain, so we can find out. In heavy infestation, it leaves only cell of the kernel performed by the adults feeding and eject holes. Second pest is granary weevil. The insect resembles rice weevil and look like same. These insects generally prefer temperate climate, and they are feeding on great varieties of grains and causing losses. Female insects creates a scoop in grain after feeding, which is used for egg laying and its multiplications. As a distribution, these insects are found worldwide and throughout India. This is one of the most destructive stored grain pests, having wide host ranges like rice, wheat, oats, sorghum, barley, maize, etc. As a damage symptoms, insects eat out kernel of grain, larva feeds inside, and female makes a scoop in grains, and these are not having flying natures and moves slowly. Next pest is maize weevil. These insects are found in corn cultivated area in the world in tropical, temperate and warm humid regions. It can be found in colder climate also. As a host range is concerned, this insect is major pest of maize, rice, sorghum, wheat, cassava, yam, and dried stored products. As a damage symptoms, both larvae and adults are causing damage, and these insects cycle is same as rice weevil. Next insect pest is laser grain borer. These are grain boring beetle, which are also known as wheat borer, and these are small in size. As a distribution status, these are distributed in countries like India, Algeria, Greece, United States, Australia, China, Japan, etc. The beetle is tropical natured, and in India, this is cereal grain stored insect pest encountered under temperature range of 20 to 30 degrees centigrade, and it can survive up to 47 degrees centigrade. These insects are having wide range of hosts like wheat, rice, maize, sorghum, barley, lentil, biscuit products, corn flour products, beans, etc. As a damage symptoms, the insects are extremely active, and the larva feeds inside the seeds and grain and cause damage. Adults and grubs larvae both bore into the seed or grain and feed and make irregular holes. The adults are having powerful flying nature, so they can move easily from one place to other and make infestations. The insects after feeding destroy and spoil the seed up to the greater extent. We can detect these insects as larvae and adults feed on internal material and leaves husk and flour with fungal smell at severity. By sieving, we can separate adult insects and which are found. So this is one of the important pest which is playing important role in causing the damage to the stored grain. Next insect pest is pulse beetle. By name it is obvious that these insects cause more damage to pulse crops, so name has been given. Pods are getting infested in fields before harvest, and these are carried over to the storage site. These insects are causing damage to almost stored pulses. These insects are distributed towards India, United States, Mauritius, Formosa, Africa, Philippines, Japan, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Myanmar countries. And as a host, these insects are having mostly all whole pulse crops as a host like gram, mung, peas, these lentil, beans, pigeon pea, and attracting cottonseed, sorghum and maize also. Both adults and larvae are causing damage, and as a symptom of damage, female insect lay eggs on whole grain, which is the initial symptom to detect infestation. After harvesting, larvae enter into the seed, and after feeding leaves empty seed coat. As a detection method, we can detect by eggs on seed surface, and there will be a small feeding holes, and Kabuli type pulses are more susceptible to these insects. Next pest is saw-toothed grain beetle. The insect is having 6 saw-tooth like structure on its thorax, so this name is given to the insect. These are generally secondary pests feeding on damaged grains, where primary damage is caused by other insects. The insects are having wings, but they fly rarely, and these insects are distributed worldwide. As a host, grains, grain products, vegetable origin foods, chocolates, drugs and tobacco crops are its host ranges, and both adults and larvae are causing damage. As a detection, the adults can be found on container wall surface when they are moving. As a secondary pest nature, they are prominent in damaged seed or grains. Next insect pest is rusty grain beetle. These insects are most commonly found in stored cereal crops like wheat, where the larvae and adults both are feeding and causing the damage. Severe infestations cause fungal spore development, and the adult insects are having wings, but they rarely fly. These insects are distributed worldwide, and they can survive in cold climatic conditions. As a host, cereal grains, oilseed cakes, tobacco, and dried stored products are sensitive for these pests, and both adults and larva stages are causing damage. As a detection method, larvae and adults feed on externally damaged grains, so they can be detected easily. Next insect pest is confused flower beetle. These insect pests are resembling rust red flower beetle. There is confusion, so this name has been given to this insect. These insects are having African origin, and these are found worldwide and mostly in cooler climatic conditions. As a host ranges, flour, cereals, beans, spices, nuts, seeds, and dried pet foods are susceptible for these insect pests, and both adults and larva stages are causing damage. As a symptom, adults and larvae have nature to feed on the germ or endosperm of cereals, and as a detection, these insects are feeding germ part of cereal, so we can detect them observing the damage of the parts of the seed. Next insect pest is rust red flower beetle. Rust red flower beetle and confused flower beetle are almost similar, and these are secondary insect pests. As a distribution, these insects are categorized as cosmopolitan insect. Cosmopolitan distribution refers when its range extends across all or most of the world in appropriate habits, and these pests are occurring mostly in temperate regions. These insects are having host range of wheat flour, dry fruits, pulses, and prepared cereal foods. Adults and larvae both feed on germs of the cereal, and for the detection, we can find that adults are making tunnel when moving through flour. In severe infestations, the flour turns greyish and moldy, which is unfit for human consumption. Flat grain beetle. These insects are a smallest beetle, where the both adults and larvae infest all types of grains and grain products. These insects are distributed worldwide and having almost all grains and grain products, oilseed cakes, dried fruits, groundnut seeds as its host ranges. Both adults and larva grubs are causing the damage. They are secondary pests and found in damaged grain only. For the detection, we can find that adults are moving freely in the grain, and it can be trapped easily with any prop traps. Ingo grain moth. The name was given as this insect was first noticed from Ingo province in France during 1736. These are internal feeding insects, where the infestation begins from fields during ripening and milking stage, and during storage, infestation is limited to the surface of the grain or seeds. As a distribution, these insects are categorized as cosmopolitan insects and mostly found in warmer regions. As a host range of these insects, these are attacking paddy, wheat, barley, oats, maize and sorghum, and only larva is damaging grain kernel before harvest and during storage conditions. These insects can be detected by finding round holes in grains, which is the first indication of infestation. An infestation causes unhealthy appearance and a smell, and in a heap, the upper layers are most severely affected. Rice moth. These are important pests of rice, cereal grains, and cocoa, etc. Adults are not having feeding nature and only larvae is causing damage. This is the external feeder insects on grains causing weaving together. Weaving means the grains are pulled together through silken thread-like structure. As a distribution, these insects are found in Asia, Africa, North America, Europe countries, and as a larva is important insect pest in India and Pakistan for causing the damage. And these insects are having wide range of hosts like rice, paddy, wheat, maize, sorghum, millet, dried stored products, gram, groundnut, cotton seed, millet products, etc., which is damaged by these insects. Larvae is having the damaging nature and adults are not causing any infestation. And for the detection, we can found these insects as a silken webs presence and web mass development and foul odor presence in the stored products. Next insect pest is Indian meal moth. These insects are also known as Magevil moth or pantry moth or flower moth, and larvae commonly known as waxworms. These insects are native to America, but now these are adapted to wide ranges of climatic conditions around the world. As a host range, stored grains and pulses, dried fruit nuts, dried vegetable products, and processed foods are attacked by these insect pests, and larva is mainly causing damage. For the detection, we can found these insects are feeding directly on grains and destroy the grain, causing silken tunnels. And adults can fly from one bean to other, which cause a spread of infestations and nature of damage is increasing. Now cigarette beetle. These insects are warmer region pests. Along with tobacco stored leaves infest dry vegetable products, oil seed cakes and dried fruits. Practically most of the damage is caused by larvae, while both larvae and adults bore into the tobacco products. These insects are categorized as cosmopolitan insects but mostly found in tropical region as a distribution status. These insects are feeding on cigarettes, cheroot tobacco, chewing tobacco, spices and chocolates, and also having infestation to wheat, peanut, cocoa, beans and cotton seeds, etc. Both larvae and adults cause damage, but larvae play major role. As a detection, we can find out pinhead sized holes on processed tobacco, and there are tunnels inside cigarette and eject holes on commodities. Next insect is drug store beetle. These are store spices pests and feed on pharmacological and medicinal products as per reports of ancient druggists, but these are also feeding on other products like stored fruits, oil seeds, dried vegetables and plant products. As a distribution, these insects are mostly prevalent in temperate zones compared to tropical, and as a host ranges, these are primary feeder of turmeric, ginger, pepper and coriander seeds, and these insects are causing problem in retail store and dry processed foods, and they are making boards through packaging, cardboard and tin cans. As a damaging stages, both larvae and adults are causing damage, and these can be detected as infestations match to cigarette beetle, and there are circular pinhead sized holes, and eject holes resemble short like holes in the infested products. Groundnut brochit. These are mainly groundnut crop pests, and along with groundnut there is also infestation to tamarind crop and Fabaceae family. By egg laying on pods, it is carried over to the storage sites, and these insects are distributed almost groundnut growing countries, and as a host along with groundnut, tamarind, Fabaceae are its host ranges, and mostly larva grubs are causing damage to the crop and stored products. And for the detection, we can find window cut into pod wall by larvae, and they are feeding inside, and there is a spreading of aflatoxins also. Next insect pest is khapra beetles. These insects are found in India and having quarantine importance worldwide. Many European countries are having zero tolerance for these insect pests, and these insects are mainly attacking on grain and cereal products. In Indian climatic conditions, mainly cause infestations in wheat storage. These insects are dominant in tropical and subtropical countries and mainly found in hot and dry regions. These insects are having host range of paddy, sorghum, wheat, maize and oilseed storage products. These insects are causing damage where the larva grubs are playing important role, and these larvae are having the voracious feeding natures. Voracious feeding refers to the huge appetite, more and more feeding, and large quantity feeding. For the detection of these insect infestations, adults' presence are found on grain surface while moving, and there is mostly damage in monsoon season from July to October months, and these insects are causing damage near embryo part. Sweet potato weevil. The grubs, larvae and adults both bore into the tubers and causing reduction in the quality and damaged tubers, which becomes unfit for human consumption. Damage occurs both in fields and under storage conditions. Next insect is Kettle Beetle. These are stored grain and seed pests. Adult and larva both feed on germ and embryo part and destroy the seed rapidly. Adult beetles may be having the predator nature, but they are causing damage to the seeds. Now we will go through rodent pests which are causing damage to stored products. Rodents are secondary major important pest after insect pest in storage conditions. Rodents are causing damage to stored produce and multiply near storage places. These are causing serious damage not only to stored products but also to packaging and even to storage buildings. The principal rodents are categorized as black rat, which are also known as roof rat. Next is brown or Norway rat, also called sewer rat. And next is house mouse. Except these, there are another rodents also like bandicoot rat, Pacific rat and multi-mammoth rat. As a nature of damage by the rodents, they feed and contaminate more than 20% volume what they consume. They contaminate with their feces, urine and hair. Prolonged attack results causing quantitative losses about 3 to 4% of stored products. And these rodents are playing important role in reducing quality, and they are also working as a vector for number of serious diseases like rabies and leptospirosis. For the controls, we have to follow the measures like sanitation, exclusion and killing. Under sanitation, we have to keep the storage and surrounding areas totally clean and hygienic conditions. Under exclusion, we have to remove and keep out all the debris or infesting material. And third is killing, where we have to think about chemical or mechanical or other control methods for the rodents. So this presentation was all about stored grain pests. Hope this will be useful to all of you. Thank you very much. I have given here my YouTube channel details, Journey with Vijay Kumar Shrivastav. Having request, please visit the channel, subscribe it and provide your kind and valuable feedback. Thank you.